Hai, Assalamualaikum. Welcome back to our channel. My name is Maya.
I'm ALIYA and you are watching
Behind the Verdict.
Let's go to the shop. What just happened?
Can you imagine yourself getting into an accident and went to the hospital? Your doctor suggests you to perform a surgery and you putting all your trust into him for the operation without knowing the detail of the risk. But you ended up being paralyzed for the rest of your life. Want to know more about this case?
Stay tuned and prepare the snack. Let's roll into the story. On 11/1982, Fiona's life changed in an instant. A car accident left her with a serious injury to her neck, a dislocation of the cervical vertebrae.
She was frightening, in pain, and desperate to recover. Like any patient would be, she trusted that the doctor knew what was best. At that moment, she had no idea that this case would later become one of the Malaysian most important medical negligence cases.
Doctor, my neck hurts a lot. What exactly is wrong with me?
Mrs. Fu, actually, you have a serious injury to your cervical spine. The bones in your neck are unstable. We recommend surgery to stabilize them.
Is the surgery dangerous?
Every surgery carries a risk, but this is the standard procedure for your condition.
Ms. Wu, delaying the surgery could increase the danger. The consent form need to be signed so we can proceed.
So this is the best option?
Yes, this is the recommended treatment.
Alright, so if you think this is necessary, I'll agree.
Ms. Wu, the doctor has experience with this type of surgery, so it is important to proceed quickly.
What kind of risk are we talking about?
Like general physical risks like bleeding, infection, and complications that can happen with spinal injuries.
Will I recover after the surgery?
The aim is to prevent your condition from getting worse and to stabilize your spine. So, inshallah.
Ms. Wu, please sign here.
I trust you, doctor.
Don't worry, we will take care of it.
On 19 July 1982, Fiona underwent open reduction surgery. Before the surgery, she gave her consent. But here is the critical question the law would later ask. Was the consent truly informed? Because she was never warned that this surgery carried a high risk of paralysis.
An orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Su Fuk Moon, attempted a medical procedure known as close reduction. The aim was simple: to realign the dislocated vertebrae in her neck with an open surgery, but the attempt was failed. After a day of surgery, Fiona finally awake and discovered that she was paralyzed. She lost her ability to walk again permanently.
Doctors later discovered that the wire loop that was inserted during the surgery was freezing against her spinal cord, and later decided to perform the second surgery on August 1982. But by then, the damage was already done. The paralysis could not be reversed.
What happened, doctor?
Found that the wire loop that was inserted is pressing against the patient's spinal cord. We need to perform surgeries to remove it.
Alright, doctor, I will inform the surgical team immediately.
Sure, the operating room is ready within 15 minutes. This is an emergency.
Understood, doctor. I will also notify the anesthesiologist and the neurosurgeon. And by the way, the patient is conscious and asking what is happening.
Inform the patient that there is a problem with the wire inserted earlier, and the wire is pressing against the spinal cord. We need to proceed with surgery immediately.
Yes, doctor. The operating room is ready.
Good. Let's move the patient now.
On January 1987, Fiona decided to bring the case to the court. She was not asking for compensation, but she wanted answers. Why was she never warned about the risk of paralysis? Why was such an important risk kept from her? She believed that if she had known the truth, she might have made a different choice, and she won the case in High Court.
However, on 2001, the Court of Appeal overturned the earlier decision and ruled in favor of the doctor. But Fiona lost the case. She decided to appeal the case again in the federal court. On November 2001, she asked the federal court to hear her case, and this was her final chance.
The federal court held that a doctor has a legal duty to disclose material risks involved in proposed treatment. Most importantly, the court ruled that this duty is not governed by the Ballroom test. Instead, the court adopted a patient-centered standard following the reasoning in Roger versus Whitaker.
The question was no longer what would other doctors disclose, but rather what would a reasonable patient want to know.
Finally, in 2007, this case was officially reported in MLJ and became a landmark case for Malaysian medical law. Alah, lambat lah tu.
Surgery. But
On 1980, 19. It is officially reported in MLJ and became a landmark case in Malaysian medical law. Sabar jangan.
What just happened? Hi, dah. Dah.
Oh. We found that the wire loop that was inserted in prison is sure the operating room is ready.
Kenapa awak tak duduk situ?
I will also notify the anesthesiologist and the neurosurgeon. Understood, doctor. I will also notify the anesthesiologist and the neurosurgeon. By the way, the patient is
on
Sabar
2000
jap, jangan apa.
and Fiona lost the case. But she decided to appeal.
On 19.
Mun ke berapa belodoh? Bukan nak orang. Rabuk lah.
Allahu Akbar.
Gitu. Oh,
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Lupa lah dialog.